Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. Today I have a very exciting video for you. I have seen two of my favorite creators doing a video about wet looking eyeshadows. And I do absolutely love wet looking eyeshadows, so I thought I would join in and do a video about them myself because I have quite a few of them in my collection. I thought that I could add some, value to the discussion and bring you some more options that you might haven't seen in their videos. So I really try to kind of give you some other options as well, and I love their videos, so I will link both of them in my description box. So please go check them both out. One of them is Amanda C, and the other one is Hannah Louise Poston, which I absolutely adore, and I'm a patron of hers, and I just love her channel. And Amanda C is also a beautiful creator. I really love her content. She's also so mindful, so delicate, and so, I don't know, I just love watching her videos. And both of them I really do enjoy and I would highly recommend in general. So now let's jump right into it, and I'm going to show you the most wet looking eyeshadows in my collection because I love them so much. So I do have a lot of them, and the first part of this video is going to be my eyeshadow palettes. And let me start with the Natasha Denona Gold palette because I feel like that's kind of a reference point for the other ones. So in the gold palette we have two eyeshadows. This one here is Sparks and this one here Kava. They have a clear base and then a ton of micro glitter in them. So Sparks is a bit more on the light golden side, and Kava is a bit more on the neutral, almost bronzy side. So this is what they're looking like on the fingers, and then when I apply them to my hand, you can see that the fine sparkle adds this wet look on the skin. So when you have them on your eyes, it really looks like they are gleaming. They are both very beautiful, but I don't think that it's a formula that you can only find in the gold palette. So there are alternatives to these two eyeshadows, so don't feel the need to buy this palette. Maybe you can't even find it anymore, but these are the two shades from the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And now I'm going to show you some alternatives. So one eyeshadow palette that truly surprised me is the Norns palette by Uden's Eye. It has a lovely, beautiful, stunning formula. And here you can see the color story. So here we have a multi-chrome. It's beautiful. It shifts from a pink to a green to an orange, and it's absolutely stunning. And the eyeshadow I think is the closest dupe for Kava that I have is this one here. It's called Amber Palace. And you can see the difference is that it has a bit more gold to it, and this one is a bit more bronze or neutral. So I hope that you can see how sparkly they are. You can see that these two have a bit of a base to them, and Sparks here in the middle is almost completely clear. If it has any base, it's more of a white one than anything else, but these two have more of like a bronzy neutral base. So all three of them very stunning. I love them. Then another palette that totally surprised me is this one here. It's from Catrice. It's from their limited edition from their Disney Princess collection, and it's the Belle eyeshadow palette. And when I open it, you will see that it has a lot of kind of shade similarities or color story similarities with the Natasha Denona Gold palette, and it has all these very sparkly sheer topper eyeshadows in here. So there are a lot of them, which I think is awesome. Let me swatch like 3 of them. So I'm going to swatch this one here, then this one here, one of my favorites in here, and then let's take this one, and maybe also this one here. So on the eyes, they look totally wet and beautiful, glistening. And I think it's incredible to have a formula like this in a Catrice palette. I have never seen a formula like this before in a Catrice palette. So I'm absolutely stunned by these eyeshadows. They look beautiful on the eyes. I feel like the formula isn't as elegant as the ones in the Natasha Denona palette. I mean, of course it isn't, but it's still beautiful, especially when you have them on your eyes. I hope that you can see it. They all have this kind of sheer base, especially the two lighter ones, and these two have just the slightest base of something bronzy or neutral. So they all deliver kind of the same thing, a very glossy looking topper eyeshadow. Then we do have these three left. So the first one is from my Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. And it's this shade here, which is called Galaxia. And this eyeshadow is also in the Natasha Denona Star palette in a bigger pan. So you can have it also in this other eyeshadow palette. And I love this one. This one has a bit more of a rosy neutral base, and then it has a bit of blue sparkle in it too, so it's not only neutral. So let me just swatch it here. I think that this one is actually the one with the highest impact. So this is one of my favorites in this category. You can see when I shift my hand, it has a pretty dark base for me, and it's a bit more on the warmer rosy side. But then it is the sparkle is so fine that it really looks just like water, and it's so stunning. I don't know if the camera picks up the kind of blue purpley shift that it has in the sparkle, but it's not too strong, so I feel like you can absolutely get away with this one as a neutral eyeshadow, so it doesn't really add a ton of color. And then let's continue with this one here from BH Cosmetics. It's called the Strobe Shock, and it's actually a highlighter palette, but I did swatch it in store and I've decided to pick it up as an eyeshadow palette because I usually don't wear colorful highlighters and also not glittery highlighters. So this palette is suited way better as an eyeshadow topper for me. And the two that I wanna swatch for you are these two here because they do have the strongest wet shine to them. So as you can see, the darker one, this one has almost like a clear base and this one has a strong white base. And then when you shift them, this one has a bit of a green shift and this one has a light golden shift. So I feel like this one here actually isn't kind of in the same realm. It's just like, you know, more like a cousin, not a sister. And this one is really the same formula. It has a bit of a clear base and then this sparkle running through it that makes it look so shiny and wet. Then the last one that I have in a palette is from my Wild Nothing palette from Colourpop, and it's one of the Super Shocks in here. So these two here are Super Shock eyeshadows, and I would say that in general Super Shock eyeshadows from Colourpop have kind of the formula that you are looking for if you want a very strong wet looking shine. And this one here is the most beautiful, very neutral golden shade. It's called Spirited. It has a bit of hard pen, so I have to press a bit harder to get something out. So again, you can see it has almost a clear base, just a tiny bit of a neutral pigment to it. And then this beautiful, very glossy look to it that it gets from a ton of tiny sparkles. So I thought that I could swatch Ritz next to it. This is the only Super Shock eyeshadow that I have for you in a single pot today. So this is a very neutral eyeshadow. It's called Ritz. I think you have heard of it before. I think Amanda did show it too in her video. And it has also a neutral base and then more like an icy sparkle in it. So you can see both of them next to each other. As you can see, this one has just more sparkle in it, and that way it just, you know, it just has a bit more of a glossiness. This one here is a bit more smooth, and this one adds a bit more texture, so you can see the tiny sparkles better. They look a bit bigger and chunkier, so I don't know, they kind of reflect a bit stronger. And this one is just like an overall very smooth glossy finish. So both of them very, very beautiful, very stunning, but also kind of similar. So if you don't want to buy the What Nothing palette, for example, and you want an eyeshadow like this, just go with Ritz with the single version. The eyeshadows that you've just seen were the closest ones that I could find that are very, very wet looking. But my biggest category is actually in my singles collection. So these are all the beautiful, very wet and glossy looking eyeshadows that I could find in my single collection. And I've grouped them in color categories because these four here on the bottom all have a bit of a green shift. These three here have a blue shift. And then we have the pinks here, the more yellowy golden ones here, and then the neutrals here on top. So I would say let's start with the 5 neutral eyeshadows. Okay, so I've just zoomed this in a bit, just that you can see it a bit better. So the first eyeshadow here is from Glam Shop. This one here is called Star. Some of the Glam Shop eyeshadows that I've tried are a bit more on the flaky side. As you can see, they have a lot of texture to them. Then the next one here is from the Nikkie Tutorials and Beauty Bay palette. And this one here is called Ivy. This is more like a strong white, and the texture is way more smooth. Then the next two ones are from the Sephora collection. This one here is called Ballet Shoes, and this one here is called Twinkle Twinkle. So now let's swatch them. So here's the one from Glam Shop that is called Star. And I think it is the most impactful one out of all of the ones I'm swatching for you here. So you can see it has a pretty clear base, and then when you shift it, it has a very strong glossy finish. Then we have the one from the Beauty Bay and Nikkie Tutorials palette. It's more like a straight up white or champagne color. And it has a very clear base, and then you shift it and it's very glossy. Then we have the one from the Sephora collection, Ballet Shoes. Again, clear, and then a glossy finish. And then the next one from the Sephora collection. This one has a tiny bit of a neutral base. So you can see it's the only one here that has a bit of a darker base. This is a stain here in the middle. But both of them are very glossy. It's the glitter finish from Sephora, and I think they look beautiful. But you can see that this one here has the highest impact. Now I'm also just going to swatch this Super Shock eyeshadow here from ColourPop. This is from the That's Taupe palette. So it has a bit more of a cooler undertone. And you can see it has more of a deeper base, so more of a taupey base. And then a very strong glossy finish. So you can see the ones with the highest impact are the Super Shock from ColourPop from the That's Taupe palette, and then the one from Glam Shop. The other ones are lovely too. I love to have variety because I don't want to have an intense eyeshadow like this every day, but I just love the glossiness that they all add to a look. So they are pretty neutral and pretty light. And now let's continue with the golden ones and with the pinky ones. This one here again is from Glam Shop. It's called White Rabbit. And then this one here is from Luxie, and this one is called Nectar. I absolutely love this one here from Glam Shop. I hope that you can see it. It has a tiny bit of a white base and then a beautiful golden shimmer running through it. And then this one here from Luxie, beautiful too. It has more of a sheer base and then a stronger yellowy golden sparkle and shift. Both very beautiful, very wet looking. So then the next three are more like on the pinky side. They are all from Glam Shop. This one here is called Goddess, this one here is called Glow, and this is Pink Platinum. So this is what all three of them are looking like. So let's start with Goddess. This is such an incredible eyeshadow. Then we have Glow. This is more on the flaky side. And then we have Pink Platinum. This is more of a smoother one with a stronger shift. So when I get a bit out of focus would be great. Yeah, you can really see the wetness of them here. And you can also see the different colors. So when we look at the base, the first one, Goddess, has the strongest neutral base, and then the other ones are pretty sheer. And then it's a very light pink, then it's a bit of a stronger pink, and then it's a bit more of a corally pink. All three of them very, very stunning. And the last one is actually more like a multichrome because it has a bit of an orangeness, yellow, and then also pink shift. So all five of them, oh my god, look at this hand. It's so stunning and beautiful. I love these eyeshadows. Now I would say I'm going to swatch the blue ones first, and then I have the greens at the last step because I think that they have all the strongest base and maybe it's a bit harder to remove them. So I'm starting with this one here. It's from Glam Shop again. This one here is called Moon Dust. And then I have two from Shady Glow. This one here is Opal, and this one here is Good God. So this one is the one from Glam Shop, and these two are from Shady Glow. So let me start with Moon Dust from Glam Shop. It's so stunning. Oh, I hope that you can see the blue, because from my point of view, it has a very strong blue, but in the viewfinder it looks a bit more whitey, champagne-y. Then this one here is Opal from Shady Glow. It's not that intense, but it's beautiful too. And then we have Good God, a very strong and shiny one. Yeah, you can see all of them have this beautiful glossy finish. And I feel like from where I'm sitting, I can see the very strong blueness in them. But in the viewfinder, they all look a bit more on the neutral side. When I shift them, I hope that you can see that Good God has the deepest base and the other ones are pretty much clear. You can see they are so stunning. This one has the most sparkle in it. Well, these two, and then this one has a clear base and this one has a bit of a colored base. So that's the difference between them. They're all so beautiful. So here, of course, we have Unexpected from Shady Glow. Then this one here is from the Nikki Tutorials and Beauty Bay palette. It's called All In. This one here is from Luxie. It's called Angel Wings. And then this one here is from Glam Shop and it's called Smash Hit. This one is a bit more on the flaky side. So here is Unexpected. Then we have All In. Angel Wings. And Smash Hit. So this one here from Shady Glow, Unexpected, and then Angel Wings from Luxie. These two have the deepest base. This one here has only like the slightest, almost grayish base, and this one is a bit more on the clearer side. And they all have this beautiful shine. They look so wet and so amazing. You can see when I shift them, they are stunning. And I think that Angel Wings is actually a pretty good dupe for Unexpected, but Unexpected has more blue sparkle in it as well, but I can only see it from where I'm sitting. In the viewfinder they look very similar, so that's the most difference that these two have. So they look very stunning, and I know they are not as neutral as the other ones, but they're so wet looking, so I wanted to include them in this video. And here you can see them on my fingers again. Lovely. So that's it. That are all the eyeshadows that I have in my collection that are truly wet looking, that have this beautiful glossy finish that I love so much. They all have kind of a sheer base to them. None of them are truly like opaque and full on pigment. And I would say that's it from me for today. So they are all the eyeshadows that I have that fall into this kind of category for me, and I love them all. It's one of my favorite formulas, and I'm always looking for some new ones, you know. But I feel like I'm pretty much, you know, I have a lot of them now, and I don't feel like I need any more at the moment. So let me know down below what are your favorite wet looking eyeshadows, if you like them as much as I do. And yeah, just let me know if you have any more recommendations that I should try out. Thank you all so much for watching. I wish you all a beautiful day.